Hey everybody, we're in Dade City today. We're gonna ride around this cute little town, and then we're gonna head up to the Dade battlefield, which is the reason that battle is the reason that this little town is called Dade City. Let's take a ride. Today we're in Central Florida, in Pasco County, enjoying a ride through a small rural town with an attractive city square and an interesting history. I'm talking about the city named Dade City. All right, here we are starting our ride, and check this out. This is going to be a good day. There's an old elementary school on the left. I love old schools. So this elementary school opened on January 3rd, 1927. And it cost $150,000 back then, which, do you know how much that is today? $2.7 million. Isn't that crazy? That's an 1,800% increase. Or, to put it another way, our money is worth 1,800% less than it was back then. That's a comforting thought, isn't it? So welcome to the ride, Navi-Gators. You know, I love taking my Navi through small towns. First, I scoped them out on Google Maps, use the street view to see, what the ride would look like. But when I get here, I just kind of crisscross from one end of town to the other and try to enjoy the town's unique fingerprint on the landscape. Now, the area around Dade City was actually home to the Seminole Indians for a long time. So let's pause our ride for a minute and let's take a ride through that battle park. Let's go to the Dade battlefield. Okay, funny story or not so funny. They don't allow you to ride Navis through the park. It's just weird. You can drive a car into park. You can ride a golf cart in the park, but you can't ride a Navi. So since the whole point of this is to share a Navi experience, I won't be showing you the battlefield, which is a shame, but it still has some pretty cool history. Okay, well, that was unexpected. Well, as we continue our ride through Dade City, I'll give you the quick story about how it got its name. After Florida became a U.S. territory in 1822, there was a lot of settlers that came down, and it created friction with the Seminole Indians who lived here. By the 1830s, this conflict had risen to a boiling point because the Indians had signed a Treaty of Payne's Landing in 1832, and several chiefs agreed to relocate the Seminole people west of the Mississippi to the Indian Territory in present-day Oklahoma. But you know what? A lot of Seminoles refused to go. Faced with the prospect of being forced by the federal government to move, Seminoles opposed to the treaty decided to fight for their homes, which makes sense. On December 28, 1835, a column of 107 officers and men, under the command of Brevet Major Francis Langhorne Dade, was en route from Fort Brooks in Tampa to reinforce a garrison in Fort King in Ocala. And they were attacked by 180 Seminole warriors in a pine forest in present-day Bushnell, which is actually about 20 minutes north of Dade City. Dade, another commanding officer, and the entire left flank, consisting of one half of the troops, were killed in the first volley. Over the next 6 hours, Dade's remaining troops and the Seminoles exchanged gunfire. In the end, all but 3 soldiers were killed, while only 6 warriors died in the battle. Known at the time as the Dade Massacre, Dade's Battle of 1835 sent shockwaves across the nation. It marked the start of the Second Seminole War, which is the longest and most costly American Indian War in U.S. history. Isn't that crazy? In 1921, the Florida legislature appropriated funds for the preservation of the battle site as a memorial. So that's the inspiration for how Dade City got its name. So I took this ride the weekend before Veterans Day. So I thought it was only appropriate to stop by the Florida Army National Guard Armory. I believe it was built in 1955. I'm not really sure. Couldn't get a lot of information on it. And what was really cool is here on medians and all over the city, they were putting small American flags to celebrate our veterans. Hey, don't forget to feed the algorithms. As you know, the technical overlords are watching how people interact with videos. And if you like the ride and would like to share it with others, just do the thing, like, subscribe, things like that. My first goal is get to 100 subscribers. So if that's something you can do, that'd be great. Also, comments are awesome. I love hearing from everybody. And also, if there's some place in Florida at this point, only Florida right now, that you want me to ride and make a video of, let me know. If I can, I will. When I rode through Plant City, named after railroad magnate Henry Plant, I had hoped that a train would go through while I was there, but no luck. So when I heard a train passing through Dade City, I just had to ride over. Now the road was blocked, as you can see, due to construction, but with a Navi, come on, roads? Where we are going, we don't need roads. The first regular train of the Florida Central and Peninsula Railway passed through Dade City in 1885, and as you can see, railroads are still in operation here today. There's something nostalgic about trains, right? I mean, I don't know if it's power, its efficiency, or maybe it's just because old movies made you want to ride on one, But as I sat there watching these cars go by, I realized that each one of these cars is equivalent to what would fit into like a semi-truck and trailer. So this train is pulling the equivalent of tens. I mean, I missed the beginning of it, so I don't know how long it is. It was long. But it could be over 100 semi-trucks worth of goods. That's amazing. This is the Dade City Cemetery. It was originally the Oak Grove Baptist Church and Cemetery, established in the early 1870s, but in 1901, it was changed to the Dade City Cemetery. It has graves going back to its creation in the 1870s. Now, I'm not a morbid person, I swear. I know I ride around or through cemeteries quite a bit, but personally, I've had enough challenges in my life to realize that death can be closer than we think. And in reality, it's inevitable for all of us. So riding through cemeteries makes me think of not only of all the people there that had hopes and dreams and lives that have basically been forgotten, but because of that, it reminds me to enjoy every day now. Because one day, I'll be like them. In a grave, forgotten. Okay. Wow, that sounds so morbid, but I actually meant it to be hopeful. I got to work on that. That's horrible. Small towns always surround a courthouse for the county, and Dade City is no different. The first version of the courthouse was built in 1891, but this beautiful building is the third one, and it was built in 1909. Isn't it gorgeous? Dade City is a small city with a population of only about 7,700 people that live in about 11 neighborhoods. 59% of the population is white, 20% is Hispanic, 19% is black, and just over 1% are other races. As far as education goes, 84% of the population are high school graduates, about 4% are attending college, and 23% are college graduates. As far as demographics go, 45% of the population is male, 54% is female. Average household income is $77,000. The median household income is $63,000. The per capita income in Dade City is just about $30,000, which is $11,000 less than the national average. And the median household income is about $63,000, which is $12,000 less than the USA average of about $75,000. And almost 13% of the population live below poverty level. Back during World War II, a unit of 250 German prisoners arrived on a special train from a camp in Augusta, Georgia, and were moved to a camp on the eastern edge of Dade City. The prisoners were German soldiers from Field Marshal Erwin Rommel's Afrika Korps, and they were captured in battles in North Africa between 1942 and 43. They were put to work producing limestone bricks, building warehouses, and making boxes. In the local paper, it was noted that most of the prisoners are young, and groups of them in the camp last evening were singing. An officer remarked that they would no doubt soon be singing "God Bless America," as they seem rather content here. The POW camp operated from 1942 to the spring of 1946, and that site was eventually redeveloped into a civic center. As one does, I guess, with American-based POW camps. Now, most small towns with a historic center square usually have gorgeous homes nearby, and Dade City is no different. So this street, Church Street, has an amazing amount of historic homes and churches. No surprise on the second part. Right here is the municipal pumping station built in 1924. You have the First United Methodist Church. You have the site of the original College Street Baptist Church. You also have the First Presbyterian Church. Down this street, you have homes built from as early as 1896 all the way through to the 1940s, but most were built at the end of the 19th century and the beginning of the 20th. It's an amazing street to ride down. All right, well, that's the ride today. Thank you so much for joining me today. I mean that sincerely. Remember, while you're on the road, be safe, be kind, and most of all, have fun. I'll see you guys next time.